The second part of self-awareness or self-understanding, I would say, is understanding your body. And like you said,
Yeah.
I guess you should start off with it because you kind of already led into it. But you said that you really do have a confidence when it comes to knowing your body, and I just want to
Yeah.
know like why, like how did you build that kind of?
Hmm. I don't know. I think that was instilled in me when I was very young,
Mhm.
because my dad always kind of related it with that. He
Mhm.
related like mental toughness with putting yourself through very hard physical workouts or stuff that you just simply don't want to do. Like he always told me that's what makes me able to handle situations the way that he does and able to stay calm and maybe not get super stressed out about certain things is because he's constantly putting himself in uncomfortable situations in the gym or training very hard to the point where he doesn't want to, and then a situation comes up in everyday life and it's like, oh, I'm confident in this uncomfortable situation like you were saying.
Mhm.
Hmm.
So I think
Mhm.
that's where that came from. I always related a little bit of mental toughness and kind of training your brain while also training your physical, because you have to convince yourself, no, keep going, keep going. You're on rep number 4, but it feels like rep
Mhm.
number 12, and you're like, that's a 40% rule. Most people quit at 40%.
Hmm.
So you'd say that that like was kind of, for lack of a better term, instilled into you from your
Definitely.
parents, kind of like that perception of who you should be. You lived up to that perception of what your family had.
Hmm.
I think so. And I don't know.
Like, do you think it was mainly from your parents, or do you think that growing up you kind of led that
I think it kind of came
idea?
naturally, no?
I think it kind of came naturally, but I think that I seen it through my dad,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
because my dad was doing that. He
Mm-hmm.
was going to the gym when he didn't want
Showed
to.
you basically.
He was showing me.
So
Yeah.
it was less about your understanding of it and your evolution of it, and it was more so just the fact that that's what you seen. So that's what you
Exactly.
did. Monkey see, monkey do, kind of thing.
That was
Mhm.
my example. He never said, Tice, you have to do this. You have to work out. You
Mhm.
have to be in shape. You have to be muscular, have a six pack.
Mhm.
Never said none of that. But he said, work on yourself. Do something every day, no matter what it is,
Mhm.
like an hour, 2 hours for yourself. He said
Mhm.
most people don't have hobbies, which leads them to go insane or maybe go home and go on autopilot immediately. He always said, do something for yourself each day, which normally related to like a physical activity.
Okay, and I just want to, because I asked him, so I want to
Mhm.
know like what your opinion is and kind of what led you down to the path that you are physically. Like, do you physically trust yourself?
Hmm.
Do you,
I would say like I trust my gut a lot. You know what I mean?
no,
Like
I'm not
first of-
talking about your gut though. I'm talking about like your body. Like
yeah.
you.
Like I know from my body when something's bad or something's good. You know what I mean? It
Mhm.
just kind of comes naturally. Or like
I know what you're saying.
if I was put in like a wrong group, I would immediately like my body would immediately tell me like this is not good. You know what I mean? It's
Mhm.
weird. It's kind of like a freaking power for some reason. You know
I
what I
feel
mean?
like we're talking more physical though. I think you're talking more mental at the moment. We're
Yeah,
talking
physical.
more physical, like
I think
what,
that could go along with
how
that
you
though.
physically trust yourself. Like for me, I know that if I go onto a basketball court, I can trust my ankles, I can trust my knees, I can trust my joints, I can trust all my muscles.
Mhm.
I know how to move all my muscles, and I
Yeah.
feel like that's something that a lot of people don't have necessarily, the trust in their body.
Mm.
Because that's maybe because they're not fit enough or they're not
Mhm.
or you know what I mean?
So like, do you think you would trust your body in that
I would
situation?
say I trust my body a lot, but sometimes you can trust your body too much to where something could go wrong. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
You don't listen to it.
You can listen to
But
it. What's
sorry,
up?
go ahead. Go ahead.
No, you can finish.
I think that what you said at first, like the feelings and stuff, I think that can relate a little bit to the physical aspect of it, because I feel like some people's bodies do respond like that. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Hmm.
Like maybe their body, I can speak for that too. So if I'm not in a comfortable situation, I'm not gonna be able to perform
I'm
to the
not.
level that I can.
That's
So
what
how
I
how do you
mean.
think your body, like the body, I guess you guys are talking about body language, right? Like, but like the emotions that are
necessarily.
construed between, like, so body language is like certain things that aren't seen, like they're seen to the eye but they aren't felt. So I guess one big thing would be crossing your hands. So the second you do this, that's body language telling the other person that you're not in the conversation. Or say you're tapping your feet or you're moving your hands, you're
Yeah.
anxious. That's body language just telling people you're anxious.
I think this is energy.
So you're talking more like, okay.
Like you feel the energy, and
You
I know what you're
feel
saying.
it,
Like your
yeah.
body is like you feel it within your body.
So how does your
Mhm.
body react when you feel that energy?
And that's what I mean. It just tells me inside, like
It sends a message.
it sends a message so quick. Don't do this or do this. You know what I mean?
So what are certain ways
So-
that you would see that physically though? Like not just emotionally, like
Okay.
physically. How would you see
for
that?
example, I'm gonna just say a quick story. In high school, everyone at lunchtime would go smoke a wood at lunch break. You know what I mean? And I'm with that group, but I don't want to be. You know what I mean? But
Mhm.
I'm with my. It would be like I can say you guys know them all.
Mhm.
You know all those people.
Mhm.
That's how I used to be at lunch. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But it's like, damn. I'm not even smoking it, but if I'm there with them, it's still the same thing. I could still get in trouble a lot. So
Mhm.
I'm always turning my back, making sure everything's good. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
You're just cautious.
Head
and
on a
anxious.
swivel.
That's what I mean. But if you're not there, then you're feeling good. You know what I mean? You don't have to worry about that. You don't have to worry about getting in trouble or this and that. So that's why I feel like physically, it's like, damn, I gotta get out of it. I gotta get out of the situation. You don't want to be here. Do you know what I mean?
Mhm.
My body sends me a quick message. Just leave, come back after lunchtime, hang out with them after, let them do their thing, come back after. You know what I mean? And that's what my mind tells me, or like
Okay.
my physical.
I think I think I definitely understand where you're coming from when you're
Mhm.
trying to base it just off of like straight
Like more
physical.
physical, like
Mhm.
But
you
I think-
trust more physically than emotionally.
But I
guess.
think that is very physical though, because some people's physical connects with them faster than their mental does. Instead of getting a mental thought in their brain that does that, their body starts to feel weird and they get tingly, they get uncomfortable, and they're like,
Very
Mhm.
"Oh, I'm
quick.
feeling
and
like this."
that's
and then
exactly
the
what I was
message-
trying to ping.
Yeah.
the
Like
message
that's
gets sent.
physical. Yeah.
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 Or even for example,
Yeah.
when we're sitting in a
Like a
remember that
increased
in the
heart rate.
car,
Mhm,
you know, we're in the car or something, and we got caught or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right before that happened, you remember me and Tyson saying, "Yo,
But I was saying
let's
that the
bal-
whole
let's
day.
balance the situation."
That's what I mean though.
Balance
And we
the
were
situ-
all able to
Yeah,
tell.
the
We're
whole
all-
day we could tell physically
whole
that something was gonna
environment,
happen. The
yeah.
second we got in the car,
That's what I
we
mean.
knew something was gonna
We're
happen.
finding a spot for an
Yeah.
hour. We get to the spot. We're like, "Nah, this is not it. This
Every
is not
single
it."
we did that like 7 times. We
That's
went to
not-
7 different spots. Said this is not it.
Every
Yep.
single time. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And finally, we're like, we got caught. We got kicked in the ass because we're not trusting ourselves enough. You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
We ended up just sending it.
We got
You
sent
stopped listening to the messages.
exactly.
But
Mhm.
I get what you're saying. It's kind of crazy how like the energy and the mental, and also the physical are so
Mhm.
connected, but they like communicate to us such different ways. Like
Mhm.
you said, it can be an increase in heart rate. It could be started to bite your fingernails, started
Just
to like
Mm.
tap
get
your foot, whatever
fidgety.
you
You know what I
said,
mean?
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm.
all that kind of stuff. But I feel like I can kind of relate to what Bashar's saying because I really do think that is a physical aspect of it. But I
And-
get what you're saying
Mhm,
too.
mhm.
Like
So-
I don't get like mentally like scared. I don't get mentally scared.
But you feel more uncomfortable
I feel more uncomfortable physically. You know what I mean?
rather than feel just anxiety in your
Mhm.
brain or like
Yeah.
just like overthinking.
Yeah.
So where do you guys think, like, when you do feel a physical emotion in your body, where do you feel it first, would you say?
I probably
Where
get,
do you
like,
first
butterflies.
notice that feeling?
I get butterflies.
So your stomach, you'd say?
yeah,
is-
my stomach, my gut.
So what about you, Tyson?
Honestly, I think it depends on the situation.
Mm-hmm.
If it's like if I'm nervous for something I'm about to do, but it could be possibly a good opportunity, like sparring day.
Mm-hmm.
When we're going to Wolf House, I was extremely nervous for sparring day, but I knew it was a good opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't necessarily scared, or I guess you could say it was fear, but
A good
with
fear.
that exactly.
Controlled fear.
Yeah.
Exactly. They always say in the monk book that fear is a feeling that gets communicated to us like in all types of scenarios. Just because you feel fear doesn't mean it's bad.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You feel fear in good scenarios too, is what I mean to say. It kind of means like opportunity. So in that kind of scenario, I guess my heart starts racing and I do a little bit of overthinking,
Mm-hmm.
but I can kind of agree with Bashar a little bit. If it's a bad scenario and stuff, like I'm not even going to lie, I'll start shaking. And it's not because I'm scared, but my body's just like, you know
Get
what I
out,
mean? I'm
get
ready.
out. Yeah.
I'm tense.
You're tense. Get
This is
out.
Actually, a crazy story, super side. It's not a side topic, but this is kind of relates to that a little bit. Me and Brianna went to a donair shop the other night.